Okay, folks, welcome back to the deep dive. So let's jump right in.
Yeah.
You know, the crypto world, it's been a wild ride over the past 24 hours.
Has been.
It kind of feels like we're watching one of those high-stakes poker games,
Right.
where the rules just keep changing right in the middle of the hand.
Absolutely.
You've got your traditional players trying to make these calculated moves, and then you have the meme coins
Oh, yeah.
just going completely off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we make sense of all this?
Right.
And what does it mean for you and me trying to navigate this crazy landscape?
That's what we're going to try and figure out today.
That is exactly our mission today. So let's dive in.
Sounds good.
All right, first up, we got to talk about Bitcoin, right?
Okay.
It's been reacting to all these macroeconomic signals almost like it's,
Yeah.
reading the tea leaves.
It is.
Like some kind of seasoned Wall Street investor.
Mm.
And, the White House, all this talk about tariffs, it seems to have calmed down some of those recession fears.
I think so, yeah.
And Bitcoin's price, well,
It's gone up.
it's definitely responded positively.
Yeah.
So it's a good reminder that even in this decentralized world of crypto, the traditional financial world,
Oh, absolutely.
it still has a huge influence.
a huge influence.
And speaking of big players making big moves, we got to talk about Michael Saylor
Oh, yeah.
and his company Strategy, right?
Yep.
They just raised a ton of capital, and they're not
They're not saying.
explicitly saying
Yeah, they're not explicitly saying.
that it's all going into Bitcoin, but come on.
The hints are there.
The hints are all there.
Right.
I mean, they're already sitting on almost 500,000 Bitcoin,
Yeah.
like 499,226 to be exact,
Oh,
with paper gains over $9 billion.
it's hard to even fathom.
Makes my little crypto portfolio look like spare change, pocket change. But you got to admire their conviction.
Their conviction is, it's admirable. It really is.
Totally. And we're seeing a similar trend with Metaplanet, too.
Oh, yeah, Metaplanet.
They just scooped up another 150 Bitcoin,
Wow.
bringing their total to 3,350.
That's a lot of Bitcoin.
That's a lot of Bitcoin. And here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
They just brought Eric Trump onto their advisory board.
That's interesting.
It is interesting, right?
Yeah.
It shows how traditional business figures, even political figures, are getting more involved in this space.
They're definitely paying attention now.
They're paying attention big time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's shift gears a bit. Talk about some developments on the infrastructure side.
Okay. Yeah.
Fidelity, the big investment firm.
Yeah.
They're filing to create a tokenized U.S. Treasury fund on Ethereum.
Oh, wow.
This feels like a big step towards merging traditional finance with DeFi.
It really does.
What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, tokenized treasuries are gaining a lot of traction. BlackRock's BUIDL fund,
Yeah.
that's leading the way right now.
Uh-huh.
And Fidelity jumping in, well, this shows that institutions are getting more comfortable with bringing real-world assets onto the blockchain. I mean, it could make things so much more efficient and accessible for everyone down the line.
I'm all for efficiency.
Who isn't?
Now we can't forget about the wild card in all of this meme coins.
Oh, boy.
The meme coin.
The Trump P coin. It went absolutely crazy.
I heard about that.
After a post on Truth Social.
Seriously.
We're talking a $400 million surge at one point.
That's insane.
It's insane, right?
Yeah.
Though it has settled down to about a $100 million game.
Okay, still
Still a huge game.
a huge game.
But it makes you wonder how much of this is people actually believing in it and how much is just pure speculation.
I think it's mostly speculation, right?
It's tough to say for sure,
Yeah.
but it's definitely a volatile corner of the market driven by hype and
Yeah.
community sentiment.
FOMO.
FOMO, for sure.
Absolutely.
So if you're going to play in that game, you got to be ready for anything.
You got to be careful.
Very careful. All right, on the regulatory front, Binance CEO Richard Tang,
Okay.
he spoke recently about U.S. crypto adoption, which is,
It's a big topic for a lot of us.
always top of mind.
And then there's been some interesting activity with the MNT token,
What happened?
a Trump-linked entity called WLFI.
Oh, okay.
They made a big purchase of MNT after Mantle's Igandiai upgrade. They spent $3 million bringing their total holdings to a whopping $340 million.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
But get this, they're currently sitting on a pretty big paper loss.
Oh, wow. So even the big players can lose.
Even the big players can lose.
Yeah.
It just shows you how unpredictable this market can be.
It does.
All right, now this next one. This one made me raise an eyebrow.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
There's a new algorithmic stablecoin called Sonic.
Sonic.
Yeah, and they're promising some seriously high yields.
Like how high?
Up to 23% APR.
Whoa. Hold on.
That's a big number, right?
That's a huge number.
It's a huge number.
Especially after what happened with Terra Luna.
Exactly. Anyone who remembers that,
Yeah.
that number should set off some alarm bells.
It definitely should. Algorithmic stablecoins, especially those offering crazy high yields, they carry a lot of risk, you know?
Right.
The way they try to maintain their peg to a stable asset, it can be very fragile.
Yeah.
And any kind of market shock can lead to things unraveling really quickly.
Like we saw with Terra Luna.
Exactly. So you got to be extra cautious with projects that are promising those kind of returns.
Agreed. So moving on to network news. Ethereum's daily ETH burn rate.
Yeah.
It hit a record low recently,
Really?
which might mean there's less activity happening on the network.
Less demand for block space.
Yeah, potentially. It's definitely something to keep an eye on.
It's an interesting metric for sure.
It is, because it can tell us a lot about the overall health and usage of the networks.
Yeah.
Right, ending on a more positive note.
Okay.
Some good news for adoption coming out of the Philippines.
What's happening?
Gcash, which is a huge digital wallet over there.
How big?
100 million users.
Wow, that's huge.
It's huge. They're now supporting USDC.
Nice.
This is a big win for Circle, the
Yeah.
company behind USDC. It expands their reach significantly,
Right.
and it could have big implications for crypto remittances
Interesting.
and, broader adoption in emerging markets.
For sure.
So there you have it. What a whirlwind, 24 hours in the crypto world.
It has been.
We saw those big institutional moves tied to traditional finance.
Uh-huh.
The Memecoin madness continuing. Some DeFi developments that we need to watch very carefully.
Careful out there.
And then some positive signs for adoption
Yeah.
in new markets.
Overall, it seems like the crypto landscape is constantly changing.
It's always changing, always evolving.
Keeps us on our toes.
It definitely does. And it leaves us with some big questions.
Like what?
Well, like, are these high-yield promises
Yeah.
really sustainable?
Good question.
And what's going to be the long-term impact of institutions getting more involved in tokenization?
Yeah, that's a big one
These are the questions we all need to be thinking about
as we navigate this crazy world.
as we navigate this crazy world.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
We'll be back soon with more insights and analysis.
You see then.
Until then, stay informed and stay curious.
And stay safe out there.
And stay safe out there. Absolutely.
Bye.